Hello, America and Washington State. This is Ray Gilbert at WeSpeak.com. Today we'll be talking to gubernatorial hopeful Phil Fortunato. Now, Phil Fortunato has 4 years experience in the legislature right now. So he's the only one running with actual legislative experience in office in Olympia. He also has an in-depth knowledge of the budget issues and the effects that cuts will have on education and the most vulnerable in society, especially veterans, seniors, and the disabled. So we're going to jump right into this. And we're going to get Phil on here by way of Skype. And the first question, Phil, welcome to the show. The first question we have to you is, can you tell us what is the first thing you are going to do if you are successful as governor?
So people often ask me, they say, what's the first thing that you would do if you were elected? I said, well, the first thing that I would do is I would sign that oath of office and I would fire the Secretary of Transportation. I go, here's a guy that goes to a national conference, and at the national conference, he says, there's nothing we can do about congestion. We just have to live with it, right? So I write him a letter, and I outline what state law says. And state law says one of the things is his agency is supposed to be providing congestion relief. So I said, now, if you can't do it, get the hell out of the way and let somebody else who can.
Okay, second question would be, what do you foresee the budget that the next governor, if it's you or anybody else, what do you see them stepping into? It's got to be big. Everything's going on right now. Can you tell us what you foresee for the budget?
Now, then when whoever goes to the governor's mansion in January is going to have a $10 billion hole to deal with. So the Democrats look at this as an opportunity to raise taxes, to get the income tax that they've always wanted and all that stuff, which is one of the reasons I think the governor is just continuing to drag this on and drive the economy into the hole, because he thinks that's to his political benefit, because some of the polls are saying that he's, people are liking that. They think he's doing the right thing. All the way up until there's no place to go to business, no place to go shopping because everybody's out of work. So the Democrats look at this as an opportunity to raise taxes and get the regulations that they always wanted. I said, Republicans should be looking at this as an opportunity to finally get the regulatory reform and the budgetary reform that we want. And I said, I ran a bill and I go, it's the way that the budget is currently done is you say, how much money did you spend last year? Well, you get 3% more, 2.8% more, 2.1% more money. So that's how the budget is done. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to zero-based the budget. And that means you don't justify your existence from where you were last year. You justify your existence from zero. The problem with that is the budget is too damn big. I mean, it's like $50 billion. So now you wind up with all of these line items and you can't possibly go through in one session. So what happens is you go through some of them and then you say, everybody else gets 3%, 2%, whatever. But you could do 25%. So what you do is you take the state agencies and you divide them by 4 and you say every 2 years, 1/4 of the state budget is going to go to zero. So you're not going to have to justify your existence from where you were last year. You have to justify your existence from zero. And we're going to make you put your budget on the internet on the July 1 of an election year. So the year before this session begins, which is the main budget year, you now get to see the agency's proposed budget for the following year.
How can you see bringing transparency to the people of Washington when it comes to the budget? Do you have some ideas that can help us on that and make it a little more clear?
That would mean every legislator, every candidate running against them, every private citizen would have access to that and be able to go through these things and start pulling things out and start asking questions. What's this money for? What's that money for? And all that stuff. So that's how you would ferret out some of this waste. Everybody knows there's waste in government. It's just trying to find it is the problem.
Phil, last question. Do you feel that the governor is dragging his feet, maybe abusing his power? What do you think about this emergency situation?
We are no longer in emergency mode. This is no longer an emergency. it's a managed crisis. We have to manage this. We still have to look at stuff. We have to look and see if there's any infections sprouting up or whatever. So we have to manage this. But it's not a emergency anymore. And if it's not an emergency, the governor no longer has emergency powers. And that's my position. We're done. The other day we had a caucus meeting and they talked about extending the governor's proclamations and all that stuff. And I said, I'm done with this. I actually agree with some of these extensions of some of the proclamations, but that's not the point. The point is, at what point in time are we going to say enough is enough? I mean, I'm done with this. It's no longer an emergency. You want to extend this, you need to go back to the legislature to get approval. And every time somebody comes up against the governor saying we need to go back to work, you know what the response is? You're trying to kill people. I go, okay, so you want to starve everybody. I said, this is stay home, go bankrupt. All you people are over there complaining about, if we go back to work too soon, you want to kill people. Hell, the governor's killing people right now. The suicide rate is going up. Domestic violence is going up. Child abuse is going up. Nobody's talking. You hear the news talking about that? Nobody's talking about that. That is the effect of some of this stay-at-home order.
All right, very good. Thank you, Phil. We appreciate your time. Is there any last thing you'd like to tell the people in Washington State about yourself? Any last message you want to give?
Okay. So I want to finish up by saying, it's been 115 years since we had a bearded governor, and that's too long. It's time to end that right now. I'm State Senator Phil Fortunato. I'm running for governor. I want to be your governor for Washington State. Now, for Father's Day coming up, I want you to get on our webpage. I want you to look. We're going to have on there our T-shirts. It says, Phil Fortunato for governor. It's been 115 years since he had a bearded governor. And you want to get that for your husband, your cousins, your brothers that all have beards and coffee mugs. And if they don't have a beard, you got to tell them to man up and grow a beard by November. I'm State Senator Fortunato. I want your vote for governor.
Well, thank you, Phil. We appreciate having you on the show today, and we look forward to having Phil Fortunato back again, as we always welcome any of the candidates running for office to come on the show and address the people directly. So from Ray Gilbride at WeSpeak.com, we're wishing you well. Have a great day and be kind to the ones around you.